start the recording. So Andy Flower from the St. Lucia Kings, if you could let us know maybe where you guys are in terms of player arrivals, etc. I know you only just got in yourself last night, but maybe where you guys are at as a team and where preparations are going from here for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, so obviously it's going to be a very short lead. Excuse me, that's a bit of COVID still coming out of me. It's going to be a very short lead into our first game. We've got limited training sessions and no practice games, but I'm pretty sure that we will be ready for that first match. We got in last night, the contingent from the 100 that were busy with the 100, including Darren Sammy, who was commentating over there, and a number of our key players. We've still got the contingent that is busy with the second test against Pakistan. So we've still got a few key men coming across from the test match, I think later tonight. And Samad Patel is playing in the quarterfinal of the Vitality Blast in England. So he's going to miss the first few games. So it's slightly disjointed, I think, for all teams in the build up to the first game. But I'm sure everyone is quite well versed in getting ready in a short period of time, and we'll be ensuring that we do that. We are all really excited to be here. Last year was given all the challenges that the COVID restrictions put on the tournament. I thought it was a brilliant tournament. We all loved it, and we will be raring to go for that first match.
Thanks for that, Andy. Rai, you've got a question. Do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, morning Andy, morning everyone.
Hi.
My question is, there are a few changes for St. Lucia this year. First of all, the name, the logo, a few personnel changes as well. My question is, how have you all been coping with all of these changes? And secondly, I'd like to find out, you all got very, very close last season. What do you think needs to be done additionally to what you all did well last season to get you all over the line this year?
Thanks, Rai. Yes, there have been a number of changes, but that is the franchise system for you. The biggest change, I think, for us is that Darren Sammy won't be on the field captaining, but he will still be a play a crucial role in our team. He's an outstanding leader. His history gives excellent evidence of that. And I think he's going to be a really crucial influence on our team in all sorts of ways. So I'm really looking forward to working closely with him. In saying that, we've got an excellent captain to take his place, Faf du Plessis, very experienced. He's a great guy. I've worked a little with him before. Actually, when we took a World 11 to Pakistan to play 3 2020 matches in an effort to get international cricket back to Pakistan. And I really loved my interactions with him. I'm looking forward to working with him as a leader. And he's had his own personal fitness challenges, obviously just recently with his concussion issues, but he is on a back to play program that should see him ready for our first match. And, we hope and pray that he is going to be fit, obviously for his own good, but also for ours. There's no 100% guarantee about that, but that's what we're planning for. We do have various other changes. I think, if anything, we've strengthened our seam attack. As you will see from looking at our squad, Obed McCoy has developed brilliantly over the last year. He's got good experience back up in Kesrick Williams. And we also, even though we've lost Scott Kugelane, who was brilliant for us last year, a great team member, we've got Wahab Riaz in, and then the two excellent West Indians, Kemo Paul and Alzari Joseph. So that gives us a really strong seam attack, backed up by Usman Kadir from Pakistan, and Roston Chase and Rakeem Cornwall in the department, and then a few younger spinners that we can introduce to the 11. So those are major changes that we've got in our side. We've got unfortunately, Wade could not get here because of various other commitments, but we've got a great stand-in, a young guy called Tim David, who is bursting onto the franchise cricket scene. I'm really excited to see him play. Big, strong Aussie that's been playing some cricket in Singapore recently. I saw him in the PSL a few months ago, and he looks really exciting. You know, he's coming off some really good form in England for Surrey, and just nipped in for the final to win it with Southern Brave a couple of nights ago. So those are some of the changes that you're referring to, right? I think they're very exciting changes for St. Lucia Kings. And that brings us to that change that you also mentioned, the St. Lucia Kings name and title and brand has changed from St. Lucia Zouks. We really value, obviously, the support of the owners. I know them from the Punjab Kings, and they are a tremendous support to us. And a couple of them are flying in to watch certainly part of this tournament, and it'll be great for our staff and players to meet them and get to know the owners. I think that's an important part of us all working in one direction. So it's an exciting brand for the St. Lucia followers. The brand of cricket that we want to play will be very similar to last year. I thought we played some really exciting cricket. The sort of attacking brand of cricket that we played, emphasized possibly by a guy like Rakeem Cornwall, who's a little bit different, but very effective. I'm hoping for some really great things from him this tournament. And then we've got the heartbeat of the side in Andre Fletcher, who is a brilliant man to have around. He's been playing quite a lot of international cricket recently, and I would like to see him put in some real match-turning performances for us. And that is what our supporters back in St. Lucia can expect.
Brandon, you had a question?
Yeah, my question surrounds Kimo Paul. He's had some fitness issues. What's the assessment of his fitness issues, and what are you expecting from Kimo Paul this season?
Brandon, the first time I saw Kimo Paul was when I was touring the West Indies with the England Lions team, and Kimo played a bit of cricket against us. And I thought he looked like an excellent cricketer. He had a lot of energy, a lot of positive energy. He can affect a game in three ways, with the ball, with the bat, and in the field. And that's really exciting. I've yet to meet up with him. I don't know him at all. I've yet to meet up with him, and I've yet to get a very clear update on his fitness. But he is going to play a part in this tournament. There's no doubt about that. And I expect him to play some match-turning performances as well.
Thank you, Coach.
Then there was a question from Garvin. Garvin, did you have a question?
Yes, good morning, Coach. You're going to be without your trio of Afghanistan players who, did quite well last year. How much of a blow is that for you moving forward? And who are some of the guys you expect to step up in their absence?
Well, particularly Nabi was good with the ball for us last year. Excuse me. And while you mentioned the Afghanistan players, I've had quite a lot of interaction with them over the last couple of years while I've been involved in franchise cricket. And I absolutely love the way that they approach the game. They are really good professional cricketers. Just had Rashid Khan in the 100 in the last few weeks. And they're brilliant role models for their young cricketers, but also for the other professional cricketers in their squads. So they will be missed, but as I mentioned earlier in this chat, I'm very confident about the squad that we've got. I think we've got a lot of talent, we've got experience, and also a little bit of youth to inject plentiful energy. So the nature of franchise cricket is that there's always change. And we've got to, I think the more comfortable you get about change, the better off you are. So I'm pretty comfortable about that. And I wish those guys that we had last year, I wish them really well as they go into the cricket over the coming weeks.
Thanks, Andy. Then there was a question from Visham, who was talking about how you guys got so close to winning last year and in the final, but you didn't go all the way. Has that affected the team at all? And are they hungry to go for the title this year?
We're hungry. That's for absolute certain. Yeah, we did get really close, but Trinidad were a bit too good for us on the day. Darren Bravo, particularly, I thought played brilliantly. So we know the standards that we have to reach if we're going to go one better. But actually, getting there is going to be it's going to contain a number of stories, and that's the exciting thing about embarking on these campaigns. And quite frankly, I'm thinking about the first few games and not the end result of this tournament. We've got Jamaica early on and then 2 games in a row against Trinidad. So that's a tough lead-in. And that's going to test us right at the start of this tournament. And that's where my focus is. That's where I'd like our players to be focusing on, simplifying the game and doing the simple things right at the start that will stand us in really good stead and give us a foundation towards the end of the tournament.
We've had an update on du Plessis with you saying that he's hopeful for playing the first game, but Obed McCoy had some injury issues. Where's he at as far as playing your first game on the 27th?
Again, I've yet to catch up with Obed and our physio. Our physio, Dennis Byam, is obviously only coming in with the contingent this evening from the second test match. So over the next few days, I will be able to give you a more accurate assessment. I anticipate Kemo Paul and Obed being fit for the first match.
Thank you for that, Andy. Jermaine, you had a question?
Hi, yes. Good morning, Coach. One question with probably 2 or 3 parts. First thing has to do with you're coming into this competition after high last year. How are you guys looking ahead to the conditions and how are you framing the team's perspective in terms of the conditions that you're coming to here in St. Kitts and Nevis, especially one, that the entire tournament will be played at one venue. 2, conditions are likely to change coming down, especially to the end of the tournament. And 3, the tournament is being played during a period where the weather is likely going to play a factor at some point in time. So how are all of these challenges going to be playing into how you guys frame your mindset heading into this tournament if you want to make a successful run, whether it be back to the finals or lifting the trophy?
Jermaine, I think those are all key factors that you mentioned. I don't want to assume too much, because when you assume things, you can look rather foolish. However, in saying that, I've just come off a Zoom call with Darren Sammy, who knows this ground well, and our analyst back in India, who is an outstanding operator. I've really enjoyed working with him over the last couple of years, Sankar Rajgopal. And we were talking about the venue and conditions. Yes, we do anticipate them changing over the tournament, given that all the games are being played on the same square. It would be logical to assume that the square will take wear and tear over the tournament, and therefore spinners become more influential in the games as the tournament progresses. There's also the wind factor that is fairly constant, I think, over the small island, and all the teams will very quickly get used to using the wind in as wise a manner as possible. I think that our squad has the capability of being able to make changes to make best use of those conditions if they vary. We've got a number of very good spin options, and as I talked about our seam attack earlier, if the seamers play a part, especially early in the tournament, then I think we've got those bases covered. So that'll be interesting to see. But I would reiterate that we obviously make plans, but we want to see what actually plans out in reality, conditions wise, and we'll be able to think on our feet and be decisive when the time is right.
Thank you very much, Andy, and thank you everybody for joining us. As before, the link for this will be available in the Google Drive very soon. All the best for the tournament, Andy, and thank you for everybody else for joining us.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for dialing in.
Take care. Bye.
Cheers.